Hello, everyone. Welcome to my podcast, Learn from a Learner. I'm not here as an expert. I'm here as a learner, someone who is still growing, still learning, and still discovering better ways to improve. Today, I will share my journey of learning English. At the beginning of my English learning journey, I thought learning only happened in classrooms. I believed English was about rules, grammar, and perfect sentences. But slowly, I realized something important. Learning is everywhere, not only in books. I started paying attention to small things. How people speak, how they express emotions, how one sentence can sound different in different situations. That's when my mindset changed. I stopped asking, how do I memorize English? And started asking, what can I learn from this? And that question changed everything. Then I started watching English movies, not to understand every word, but to understand the feeling behind the words. I listened to English music not just for enjoyment, but to notice pronunciation, expressions, and emotions. I read English stories even when they felt difficult. Every new word became a small lesson when we pay attention. I listened to podcasts even when I didn't understand everything because understanding comes later, listening comes first. When I find a new word, I don't rush. I search its meaning, see how it's used, and try to use it in my own sentence. I don't try to be perfect. I try to be consistent. What I learned from the journey is something very simple, yet very important. Learning does not start when you become confident. Confidence comes after learning. At first, I was scared of not understanding everything, but slowly I realized that not understanding is part of the process. You don't need to understand every word in a movie. You don't need to catch every line in a song. You don't need to know every meaning in a story. What matters is showing up every day and staying curious. When you listen again and again, your brain starts recognizing patterns. When you see words repeatedly, they stop feeling new. When you try to use a word, even incorrectly, it becomes familiar. Learning English is not about speed, it's about exposure, patience, and consistency. And the most important lesson I learned from my English learning journey is this: everything can be a teacher if you choose to learn from it. A movie teaches you how people speak naturally. A song teaches you emotion and pronunciation. A story teaches you structure and imagination. A podcast teaches you flow and confidence. You don't need perfect resources. You don't need a teacher. You can learn from a learner. But you need a learner's mindset. So, if this episode helped you even a little, stay with me on this journey. Keep watching, subscribe, and let's keep learning together.